Guys, I decided that I'm going to paint my rear seats. They've already been painted once, and obviously it didn't do well. I don't know how they painted them, but as you can see, it's black and blue all over. So I've got it hanging here. I took a wire wheel. Well, it's not a wire wheel, it's just a brush on my DeWalt, and I cleaned the fabric and cleaned the whole thing with degreaser, and I'm about to get the dupli color out and just paint the shit out of it. So hopefully it stops twirling so much, but either way, we'll figure it out. All right, there it is. Not perfect. Probably could use some more coats. You can still see some of the blue. I probably need to rub it and then, you know, paint it some more. And here's the bottom. There's one can per. So I got at least 3 coats on the fabric and 2 coats on the vinyl. Just kind of, the fabric is, you know, a little harder to hide. The blue shows through a little bit, but it looks pretty good. Looks better than it did, and that's the key. You don't see all the water lines and stuff that I guess were on it. It was kind of weird looking. So that hid that a lot, so it makes it look a lot nicer. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Just gonna let it sit out here and bake in the sun for a while, and then we'll put it back in the car. All right, everybody. So this is kind of just an interior video is what it's going to end up being, because I finished the center console, we dyed the rear seats, and because I got the rear seats out, I figure I should take advantage of that while I can. I've went ahead and removed the rear package tray, which was very ratty. I'm going to use it somewhat as a template. It's not perfect, so I'm going to have to do a few things. It's got some carpet in the corner. I'm also going to try to make my own sail panels. I just decided I don't want to spend the money on buying this stuff. They're like $60, but shipping's $60 as well, so it adds up real quick, and I figure, why should I spend $180 on stuff I can probably make for $50? So I'm going to use this as a template. That's the general idea, because that one's probably too rough, and then I'm going to use ABS to try to make this back panel as well. So I'm going to get some cardboard and try to draw this out and basically see if I can get this shaped to get my initial design, and go from there. All right, guys, so there it is, 2 pieces of cardboard, and this is going to require me to remove these back panels the way I'm building it, because it's going to sit really flush. So it's going to need to be pushed straight back instead of, you know, trying to push it down on either side or flex it in the center to kind of push past these side panels. So I'm gonna have to remove these side panels. I think that's just gonna give me my best look. I know these stock panels have, like, you know, basically a little excess fabric on each side that allows you to just kind of push it in there. I'm just not gonna do that. You know, as much as that's a awesome idea, I'd rather have one nice solid piece. I had to tape a little bit of extra on the end to get the cardboard right, because this is about 60 inches. So I actually just was in the trunk and marked off my speaker holes that I'm going to use, because I'm going to put my speakers on top, because I like the look of speakers actually sticking out your package tray. It's just my jam. So, I mean, it's that, or I just drill a whole lot of holes in it. I mean, I could do that too, but I don't want to do that, I don't think. Because it won't be uniform if I do it. So I'd rather just put the speakers on top. So maybe not. Who knows? I'll see here in a little bit. I could also, you know, put grill mesh in it, I guess. And I could also wrap it in fabric. So we'll see. I'm about to pull this out, cut out the speaker holes, and go from there. Hey guys, we're back out here working on the interior of the 71 Satellite. I told you I'm making my ABS piece for the back of the car. So I've got some tape on here, and I've traced out that template I made out of cardboard for the package tray. So I'm about to go ahead and cut the main design. I got two pieces, so they're 36 inches long. So it's about 15.5 inches on each side that I got to remove from these 36-inch long pieces of ABS, and then we'll have that one little section in the center, obviously, that meets up. So we'll have one line in there for where it meet up, but I think the package tray should turn out pretty good this way. So I'm going to get a quick bit of cutting this main form out on these two pieces real quick, and then once I get it where I like it, I'm going to place it in the car and then mark my holes for the speakers themselves. I want to make sure before I cut those holes that I get it where it needs to be. So let's get to it. Alright, so I cut that template out on ABS. Everything looks to be fitting pretty good here. Pretty happy with it in general. It sticks in there. Only problem is it's going to need to be screwed down a little bit. I think I'm going to go do that first before I do anything. I need to get some screws in here to hold it in place, hold it level and flat, because it does shift down a little bit because it's not tightly up against that back little area. And then I'll go mark my speaker holes and cut those out. So yeah, boy. All right, new package tray is in. I need to clean up some of the dirt on the edges, but it looks good. I'm pretty happy with it in general. I wanted to have my speakers on top here, but I just realized with these cars, this hole is bigger than this hole. So without doing a lot of metal cutting, there's no way I'm gonna make that work. And I don't feel like cutting the metal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bottom mount them. So I need to order some speaker grills because I don't have grills, and the grills will go over these holes to hide them, and then the speakers will be mounted under the underside. So that'll make everything work real nice and make everything very clean looking. So, but 1/8 inch ABS. I ended up kind of using a plastic fixing tool to put metal on the back side over here to get the center, make sure the center was nice and straight and lined up pretty well. It's not perfect, but I can deal with that. But it's a nice flat area, looks good, and I won't have to really worry about it, just getting moisture issues because it's ABS. So pretty happy in general. It's cleaning up the car a lot nicer than it was with the raggedy carpet and badly upholstered old package tray. So I'll get those speaker grills ordered and we'll get our speakers installed and be back up and running again. So hell yeah. Guys, everything is installed. I got my speakers installed with the grills. I did cut out the driver's side to make the speaker fit on top. It's so much cleaner than it was with the really gaudy carpet. So, and you can kind of see it there from the back side. Now you do see the back edge of the seat, which I do not like. I need like some windlace or something just to kind of help that out a little bit, but it's not all that bad. Happy as can be with it. Alright guys, let's talk about our ratty old sail panels. They are cardboard back. If they get any moisture in them, they just get crazy, crinkly, and just rot away. Now, the solution I have for this is I'm going to make mine out of ABS. I'm going to take 1/16 inch board. This is 1/16 inch ABS that I bought off of Amazon. It's a 12 by 24. Actually, no, this is 24 by 20, 24 by 12. So really you need 12 by 36 if you want to do a whole piece, but you can get away with doing this and making it a two-piece. So what I basically have done is I've taken and I flattened out the original one on a piece of cardboard and traced it. And this is what I came up with. So, and what I did then is transferred it over to the ABS. Now, when I did that, it wasn't perfect. So I've actually had to alter the ABS a little bit, as you can see, and make a better cut there. And then the tip is where I'm actually going to be making that second piece. And it fits really well. I'm really happy with it. And I'm going to have to do this again. But the difference will be actually is I've got to back trace it. So where I traced it like this on the original piece, I will have to flip this around and do the design on the back. And what that's going to do is allow me to basically have the same design with the texture on the outside. So I mean, it depends on how you want to do it. If you want it smooth or if you want to cover it in vinyl, you can always cover this in vinyl. Now you're going to want to adhesive cover it in vinyl. I don't think this is going to be thick enough really to staple to it, but with the vinyl you might be able to wrap it around and you know, do it that way, but it probably won't be as flexible that way either. So that's what you got to worry about there. But let me go ahead and try to put this in. Might be a little hard, so I've already been playing with it. Now on this side I don't have everything out. Here's my little second piece for the overlay for the corner. All right, and really I should have this piece out, but it is loose, so that helps a lot too. And you know, these pieces are still in here as well, which I should probably take them out. But just to show you, I can sit here and I'm going to just make sure I overlay there on the bottom. I've loosened these two screws, this one and this one right here, which helps out a lot with pushing it in under here. But just kind of push it down, then push it back, push it in. There, got it in there. And now, whoopsie, you just kind of fit it to there, to where you got it fit nice. I probably need to trim it just a hair more. Just a hair more in the center, it appears. I'm gonna fold it down here in the corner, get it under there. Now it fits a bunch better. So, and then you kind of get back here a little bit and you can see it looks pretty good. And then once I put this guy in here, it should really form it really nice. So now getting this thing back in here, obviously a little bit of a pain in the ass, but boom. And look at that. Now it needs cleaning, but it fits really well. It forms really well because of the 1/16 inch plastic. You know, it lines up real nice. I used a flat edge on the top and I cut the bottom and bam, look at that. Brand new sail panel. Black vinyl, I'm sorry, black ABS. Easily covered if you want to. And it gets rid of the unsightly ones that I had, so. All right, guys. Now I gotta go make the other one. All right, everybody. Let's talk about the Jegs retro bucket seats. These things I bought off of Jegs because my Plymouth Satellite Sebring came with neon green racing seats, and I just don't like them. They don't fit. They're not retro. You know, they're ugly. So I bought these seats, and they're relatively cheap, and they look amazing. They're about $250 a piece. They come flat in the box. They come with universal rails that are 16 on center. And as you can see, I mean, the material's decent. It's got nice little bolsters to it. It could use some more foam probably on the bottoms, but standard design. Flat, lays flat, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, in general, if you look at these, it's just got a really nice look to them. It looks like a standard thing, and you can remove the top. You can actually order these without the headrest, but you can just pull them up, and there's just one single button, and you can take them off of there. So, and it works really good. And then it's just 4 bolts to put the rails on it. They come with a spacer and then just your lever. And you just gotta make sure you put it on the right order, because if you don't, you put them on backwards, you're pressing that lever down instead of up to, you know, adjust your rails. So I'm gonna get this put together real quick, and we're gonna go install it in the Satellite. Alright guys, so we were talking about these Jegs seats. I'm working on getting these Jegs universal mounts put in. And basically they had already put some shitty homemade mounts in. They weren't actually shitty, but they just won't work for what I need for these seats. Simply because, I mean, it's just a matter of that they don't have the same bolting pattern. So I bought these. They were pretty cheap. Not as sturdy as I'd like them, but you know, I used the front holes that were pre-existing from the previous ones, which is why they're both facing outward, or this one's in, this one's out. So I've got 16 on center is what I need to do for the holes from left to right. So, but of course the back holes aren't even close, so I have to drill holes to get the back part mounted and then level them out. Even though these are adjustable, they're not adjustable enough. This one is basically flat, where this one is at the very top of the range. So with the other side, I had to use shims, 2 shims on the back and 1 on the front. I don't remember exactly the length or height of them is, but I will have to do the same. So either way, I'm just drilling holes right now to get the backs configured, and trying to get it to where 16 on center is going to be good. So they're pretty easy to do. I mean, obviously it's just 2 bolts on the front, 2 bolts on the back, and then the same thing on the tops. Drilling the ones on the tops, making sure they're 16 on center is the biggest key. You do have some adjustability as far as how you mount your seats. There's a couple holes you can use, so it depends on how you're going to do that. So we'll look at that here in a little bit when I get to that part. So, alright guys, as I was talking about, you have 3 mounting holes here, and you got 2 mounting holes here, possibilities. For me, I want them at the edges, and I had measured this 11.5 from here down to the middle one, but then I remember, like, oh yeah, that I'd rather have the bottom one, but so it's not too bad to deal with. But I think I'm going to stick to the back, just simply mean the middle one, just because I already measured that, and it's not too bad getting the bolts in that hole. But what you have to do is you have to pull these out all the way, put your bolt in, and then switch it. Well, if you start at the back, it's way easier. You get those back bolts already in there, and go ahead and mount it, and then you can push your seat all the way back and get your bolts in for the front. So a lot easier that way. Like I said, I gotta put some shims on this side. I've got to cut these holes, but I mean, as you can see, I marked my holes at 16 on center from there to there, and same thing here. So not too bad. We'll wallow it out a little bit too, just to give it a little bit of wiggle room, but time to drill some holes. All right, there it is. They're all mounted in there. I use these square washers. They're nice, thick, square washers. And I had to use 3 of these in the back on the inside and 1 of them in a regular washer on the front to get that to that level the way I wanted it. So that's pretty much, it's the same thing on each side. But these are nice. I love these. $250 for these Jegs seats, and you can find coupon codes for them a lot of the times. But you can get them with or without the headrest. I only got the ones with the headrest just simply because they were in stock. And I can remove those. There's just one button and you can pull those right off. So that's makes this car look a whole lot better. It had those in it. So I'd have to say that's a very big improvement. So they match up the interior real nice, have nice lines in them, pretty comfortable, pretty low. You could probably get these lower too, because it comes with the 1/4-inch spacer to bolt them to the bottom of the seats, and I think you could do it without those. Now getting your bolts in would be a different story maybe. But I mean, it would be ideal if those bolts were welded in there, or just, you know, had those ability to just be stuck in there instead of the way they are. Make things a lot easier than having to feed bolts through and then play with them the whole time. But all in all, the universal seat mounts work. They're not the best thing in the world. I'd really ideally make some better ones out of some nice angle iron, but they get the job done. And these seats, like I said, just way better than what was the interior looked like. Now my center console, my kick panels, my package tray, and painting the rear seat black, at least the interior looks decent. I mean, the dash still needs a lot of work, but I'm pretty happy in general. All right, peace out.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the